So it was a last-minute fight. We were looking for another heavyweight fight to put on the card, and Dylan, his last couple of fights fell off. It's a fight I'm really excited about. Bobby Taylor undefeated, Ronnie Rogers undefeated in a 155-pound division that's stacked with talent. The winner of this could be a fight or two away from fighting for the title. Ryan's last fight, as you saw, stopped by cut after coming off a really impressive debut in BKFC down here in Biloxi. Kane, he's as tough as they come. He's fought 75, 65, now he's at 85. We'll see what these two guys do, but you can expect fireworks in this fight. I'll tell you what, Adam looks like the best shape of his life. He's huge for 155 pounds. John Schaubach typically fights at 145. He's undefeated in every combat sport he's ever competed in. It was hard to match him at 145, so we threw some names at him. He jumped at every single one of them. The catch was to fight Adam, he had to come up to 155. I forget what he weighed in at, but he's a much smaller person, but I would not put that as a deciding factor because he's just so talented. So I was down here in the crowd when those two guys got up there on the scale, and the people were just looking at me like, these guys are 185, like, you know, I'm 200 pounds, and you know, they make me look small. So, I mean, we're going to see two large, athletic 185ers go in there and throw fists. Like, this fight probably won't make it 5 rounds. So we're in a unique situation here, and I caught a lot of slack online for that fight and for Alvin's fight. But when you have someone as experienced as Caleb in the squared circle, there's only so many fighters that have the experience, considering we only have had 21 bouts. So we had to think outside the box and bring in someone who has a lot of combat sports experience, even though he doesn't have any bare knuckle experience. His opponent, we found at tryouts. He told us he's been fighting his whole life. This isn't anything new to him. That boxing was something he ended up just falling into, if you will, fighting for survival stuff. Tons of experience in boxing, very well decorated. I know he's come off a couple of losses, but as you saw, he's in phenomenal shape, so we'll see what he brings to the table in the squared circle. Again, Alvin Garcia, same thing. Garcia was found at the Fort Worth tryouts. Alvin has an amazing record in bare knuckle. These two guys, like with Caleb and Derek, Derek, I believe, has 61 pro fights and's fought the who's who. Julio's the same thing. He's like 27, 9, and 2, I think his record is, pro, and he's been fighting his whole life. Like, these guys, this is nothing new getting in there and fighting. It's just new because now they're not going to be wearing gloves. I don't want to misquote Harris, but he said something along the lines of, you know, if you would have asked him a couple of years ago if he'd ever be fighting Melvin, I think this is a fight that he's looking at, and he's appreciating being in the moment. You know, he's a very talented fighter, getting an opportunity to step in with a UFC veteran and a very experienced bare knuckle fighter. I mean, they agreed at 185. Both men have fought smaller before, so we'll see if the weight has an advantage for either one of them. But Melvin's super explosive. You can never count him out. And Harris just has a ton of experience as well in bare knuckle. I love this fight. Both guys at 205 looked in great shape. They both hit really hard. They're both explosive. I don't know which way this goes. Again, it's one of those fights where I don't think it gets past or it gets, you know, the whole fight. Someone's going to win by knockout there, I think. Another fight I love. Bobo is not known to have great head movement or to like get in and get out of the pocket. He likes to get in, put his hands up, and bang it out. And anyone that's ever seen Rumsey fight, he has, I think, like 30-some professional fights. He goes in there and he swings. So again, two big heavyweights throwing really hard. You know, you could probably expect a knockout with this one. Alan Belcher, when people saw him last fight, I believe it was at 185 pounds. He tipped the scale, I think, at 231. Phenomenal shape. This is a different sport, though. Tony Lopez has well over 100 professional fights. He's been in the squared circle several times. He's been there with great fighters, including our current heavyweight champion. He knows what this sport's about. I can't take anything away from Alan, though, so I'm curious to see. It's a fight that had to be made. You know, Reggie Barnett has the most fights in bare knuckle at 6-1. Johnny, former champ, 5-1. Both guys very talented, undeniably the best people at 135 pounds currently in our division. I don't know how this one's going to go, but it's going to be a fight that people are not going to want to miss. I'm curious to see how our professional boxers do. So Derek Finley and Julio Garcia, knowing that they have such good records in professional boxing, but they're coming over to a sport that if they were boxing, they'd be the favorites by far, but it's not boxing. So I'm definitely saying those are two fights to keep your eye on. And then as far as fun fights, I think one of the fights on the card that's going to be fun for the fans is going to be Bobo Rumsey. Again, Bobo's not known to stick and move. He gets in there and mixes it up. So we saw Bobo versus Zach Kalmus, fight of the night, and every time Bobo steps in there, he has the potential to have fight of the night. So those are the three I would say are my kind of underdog to watch. Everyone knows the main event is going to be spectacular. Nobody knows what to expect from Lopez versus Belcher, and the rest of the card. A lot of fight fans are familiar with the fighters, so they've already pretty much probably have their decision made who they think is going to win. BKFC.com, or they can, if they want to come here live in person, come on down to Mississippi Coast Coliseum. Doors open at 6, and fights start at 7.